Okay. Welcome to the Co-ops. I'm Brenna. I'm the current BSC president. I chair the board of directors, which runs the organization, and is something that you can get involved in. One of the great things about the organization is that students really run it. We do own it, and it's a great way to get involved in your own community. We have a couple huge projects coming up this year. Everything ranging from how we deliver food and supplies to kind of really defining what the role of the House President is, and so many other things. I'm really excited for you. I'm so jealous that I'm not starting over my time here now. I just want more time here. If you have any questions, if you want to get involved, shoot me an email, and have a great time.
Welcome to the Co-op. Woo! Welcome to the Co-ops, new members. I'm here to tell you about the housing department here at the BSC. So basically what we do at the housing department is help you with all your needs with contracts and housing and all that fun stuff that has to do with your actual living situation. So we'll help you get your contracts in. We'll also help you if you're interested in maybe transferring co-ops. Let's say the one you're in right now is not your first choice. We can show you what the prospects are for transferring and what the process is and all that stuff. So waiting lists for certain houses, we can tell you about those. Basically, if you have any questions at all regarding housing or where you want to live, you can come talk to us. We're the first people you see at CO when you walk in the door. Look to the left, there's the big desk and everything. I'll be sitting there. The rest of the housing will be sitting there, and we can help you with whatever questions or concerns you may have. Welcome to the Co-ops.
Hi, I'm Esme. I'm the bookkeeping and collections assistant here. You're most likely going to come and see me if you need a payment extension for your rent. We understand sometimes financial aid doesn't pay out, your parents didn't send a check, your check from work didn't come in on time, so what are you going to do when you can't pay your rent? You just come and see us and fill out this little form here. It's pretty simple. It's a one-sided sheet. You just put your name, your email, the co-op house you live in, and when you're going to pay your rent, and include your financial aid statements as well if it depends on that. You just come on into the office or call us an email as well. Communication is the key because those pesky late fees can really add up. So just see us before the rental dates to avoid the late fees to make your payment arrangements. We're pretty flexible to a point. We work with you within the semester, so you get to pay spring within spring. But again, communication is key, and it's really simple to get these payment extensions. As you can see, my binder is pretty thick right now with people. The dorms don't do this for you, apartment landlords don't do this for you. This is a really unique service that the co-ops offer.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm the AR bookkeeper. As she mentioned, the late fees do add up. If you miss the payment day, the next day you get a $20 late fee applied to your account, and if you don't make a payment or come in and make an arrangement within 2 weeks after that, then you can get a $40 late fee. And our methods of payments are Visa, MasterCard, Discover, cash, checks. However, we don't take post-dated checks, so just keep that in mind. And I send out statements throughout the semester and also payment reminders in an email. So just check your emails and check your co-op mailboxes, and if you have any questions about your account, feel free to come in or call or email. But at any rate, just remember communication is the key to avoiding late fees. Welcome to the co-op.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I am a CK employee and a former kitchen manager and a current delivery coordinator.
So if I want food, what happens? How does it get to me?
Well, first you have to request to your kitchen manager if you want a certain product, and then your kitchen manager, if it's available through the central kitchen, which it mostly always is, will go ahead and order it through an online ordering system called Progress. Then, after your kitchen manager orders the food through Progress, our lovely staff members then in turn order it through one of our vendors, one of our wholesale vendors, and then that food gets delivered to the central kitchen. And then after the food gets delivered to the central kitchen, depending on if it's a perishable item or a non-perishable item, a group of people will come in and separate the food and delegate it to the house members that have ordered it, and then someone will come and deliver it to your house. So that is how you get your food.
Are these people staff or student staff?
Oh, all these people are student staff and or work shifters who pack your food.
How do I get hired to work at the Central Kitchen?
If you would like to have a job at the Central Kitchen, you can look on HiCom at bsc.coop.
Is there temporary work available?
Yes, there is always suffer pay available. Fill out a form in the central office so you could be a temporary worker. So this is the central warehouse. This is where all the non-perishables get packed. And as you can see, these are some of the items that we carry during the regular school year. These are some of your options available for your food consumption. And all of our supplies and like plates and forks and knives and cups are also from the central warehouse as well.
Hi, my name is Kim. I'm the operations manager for the BSC. Some of the things that I do are checking the student status for all of the members in the co-ops. I usually send out letters, so if you see those from me, please respond to them. I also follow up on any sort of member complaints that can't be resolved by managers or other staff members, so if you have habitability concerns, you can contact me about those. If there's issues with animals, if you need to have a pet for disabilities, or if you have complaints about other people having pets or other contractual provisions, you can contact me about that, and I'll do my best to help you out or refer you to the department that can.
Welcome to the BSC. I'm Madeline Lowe, Development Director. I lived in Davis House and Rochdale. There are hundreds of alumni who loved their experience at the BSC and want to give back to the BSC, and I help these alumni in all their different efforts, like fundraising, reunions, scholarships, preservation of co-op history, and lots of other ideas that alumni have to support the mission of the BSC, which is to provide affordable housing in a cooperative living environment.
Hi new members, my name is Daniel Kronovet. I'm going to walk you through how our co-ops fit together and how you in your unit fit into the central level and are related to all the other units. So let's start. This is the unit side. We have apartments and houses in the co-ops and the BSC, so we call them units. And then there's a central level and there's one of these. And they're related to each other like this. The best way to think about all this is to think of us as being in many ways like the United States, where you have 20 of the units, kind of like states, and they each run themselves semi-autonomously. They have their own councils, which is you, and they're the ones who vote on issues for the house or the apartment. And then they elect managers, kind of like the governor, the administration, and they elect a board member, which is a lot like a senator. And then the board member comes in as part of the central level by being on the board. And now the board is a lot like the Senate in the United States. And since the co-ops are a nonprofit, the board is kind of the central governing body of the whole co-op system. So this is the board, and they work with a president and 6 vice presidents, I'm one of those, and 6 committees to develop policies and programs to kind of help the BSC move forward. They do all kinds of things. They deal with the budget, they sometimes buy new houses, they create new policies, really everything related to running a large organization, the board deals with. And then you have the staff, kind of like the executive or the administration of the country, who kind of runs things on a daily basis. These are jobs that are too much for a full-time student to do, which is why we're set up this way. So we have the staff, and they implement the policies and the programs that the board created, and they provide some supervision and oversight and support to the managers in the units. So that's kind of the relationship. You have the people here who elect representatives to the board, who then create programs, and then implement them by hiring staff, who then go and support what goes on in the individual units. As far as you're here right now, but you could easily become a manager, you could be on the board, you could be an executive, you could even work in the office. There are a lot of ways to get involved anywhere you want here, and it really is a fantastic opportunity. So I really hope you choose to take advantage of it. All right, I'll see you around.
Hey there, new co-opers. I'm here today to tell you about a way that you can explore the co-ops, perhaps save a little money on your rent this semester, and have a great time. It's called the Twin Pines Program, and it's a way that we encourage new members to explore the whole co-op system. Here's how it works. Get this fancy card with a list on the back of activities you can do all over. And you've already done one. You're at new member orientation. Thanks for coming. Now, all you have to do are 5 more, for a total of 6. And once you've done that, come on down to central office. Get it signed, get yourself entered into a raffle for $250 rent credit. On top of that, you get a new water bottle. You get a new sticker. Better yet, if you get 10 of those activities, then you'll get entered twice into that raffle. If you do more than 10, 3 times into that raffle. And the activities are a lot of fun. Let me read a couple for you. Go to dinner at 2 other houses. We have lots of houses. Go to your first social event. We have lots of social events. So grab a friend and maybe win a couple prizes and some money. Welcome to your new co-op.
Hey Trevor,
Hey Sean,
you're a house manager, right?
that I am.
Can you tell me about my rights as a co-opper?
Yes, certainly. As a BSC member, you have certain inalienable rights. Those rights include to be comfortable being yourself in your own home, to vote and voice your opinions about how you want things to go at your co-op. You also have a right to personal space and personal boundaries, and to feel safe from sexual harassment in your home. You have a right to have a congenial, comfortable, and studious living environment. You have a right to a clean and habitable environment. You also have a right to be safe from violence or intimidation.
So, do I have any responsibilities as a co-opper?
In fact, you do, Sean. You have a responsibility to treat all the people with respect. Respect! Treat all people with respect and not put down, insult, or discriminate against others. Violations of this policy could result in termination. You also have a responsibility to attend and participate in house meetings. As Plato said, those who don't participate in democracy are doomed to be governed by their inferiors. You also have the responsibility to respect the boundaries of others and seek consent for all physical contact. The sexual harassment policy is well enforced. To contribute to your work shift hours is another responsibility that every co-opper has. We all rely on each other, and if you don't do your work shift, it's bad for everyone. You also have a responsibility to resolve conflicts faithfully and in a timely manner. Finally, if you notice that anyone is having trouble mentally or physically in some nature, and you think that your house manager or president might be able to help, feel free to talk to one of those people. Thanks, Sean.
Cool, thanks. So, do I have a right to play my music as loud as I want, whenever I want?
In fact, Sean, you don't. Section 21 of the contract that you signed clearly states, it's the peace and quiet clause, that you are not allowed to make any excess noise or cause any nuisance such that will disturb the peace and quiet of your neighbors that live around you or the fellow members of your house.
Oh. Well, thanks for your help, Trevor. You really cleared up some things for me.
Hey, no problem. Well, I'll see you all later.
Hi, welcome new members. My name's Monique. I'm the Member Resources Supervisor for the Berkeley Student Cooperative. When I was an undergrad, I lived at Wolf House and at Rochdale, and I had a wonderful time. And one of my responsibilities in my job is to train your house managers and to support them throughout the semester to provide a happy, healthy co-op experience for all of you. Another area of my responsibility is to provide educational opportunities for you while you live in the BSC. And some of the workshops that you might see throughout the semester are on issues like health, safety. We put on a first aid CPR training every semester, and we also do anti-discrimination trainings, harm reduction trainings. One way for you to be informed and to find out about all the different resources available to you as a member is to read our Member Resources newsletter. And that's published every Friday and is sent out electronically to your house listserv. So you can find out about things like jobs that are available in the BSC, scholarships, and other great events going on. Promoting a safe community that's free of bias and harassment is really a priority for me in my job as Member Resources Supervisor. I can provide resources to any member who needs some support with issues like emotional or mental health problems, substance abuse, any instances of violence in the co-ops, harassment, or sexual harassment. So I hope that you have a wonderful time in the co-op as I did, and if you ever need any help or support, please don't hesitate to come and see me.
Hi, my name is Audrey. I'm your member advocate. My job is to be a resource to you on policy. It's also to advocate and represent you if you ever have conflicts with the organization. So first, I'm going to show you how you can access our policies on your own, so you can kind of get a first idea of like what our policies are and if you might need an exception or if you feel like the policies aren't being carried out at your house. So if you think you might need an exception to policy, the first step is to look at the policies, and luckily we have them all online at this point. So if you start on our website, bsc.coop, and go to current members, and then go down to policies and resources, go to official BSC policies, you'll find a link to the policy wiki, and so if you click on that, you'll get the entire body of policies. But then here we have quick links to the policies that are most often accessed by members. So we have one on student eligibility, payment of bills, party policy, stuff like that. So the second kind of tip is that I really want to be here for you. My job is to kind of put the needs of individual members first and really advocate on your behalf. So if there's anything going on, please contact me. You can send me an email at member.advocate@bsc.coop, or come into my office hours and we can talk about like ways that I can help you. So yeah, that's all I have for you. Have a great time.
Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell, brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Hey co-opers, my name is David Hubbard. I'm your health worker coordinator. I support and train the health workers, and the health workers write the health tips that are posted in the bathroom. They stock the medicine cabinet, which has condoms and first aid, and they also put on health-related workshops.
Hi, I'm Perla. I'm the health education coordinator. I support the health worker coordinator as well as the health workers at the co-ops. I do different kinds of workshops, including consent workshops, harm reduction, and I'm also the liaison for the Student Health Services at the Tank Center. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or call us for any health concerns. Thank you.
Welcome and congratulations on becoming a BSC member. It's my job to ensure that life in the co-ops is as safe as possible by preparing for big and small emergencies, from unruly guests to devastating fires and earthquakes. I'm excited to say for the first time that we are working with the university and the Greek system to create a fully integrated emergency plan for students. We are also working on caches of food and supplies for our members to use during a long disaster. I'd like to tell you what resources you have at your disposal in your houses. Your house has an emergency plan that is updated every semester with current member information. It will outline jobs for people trained to help out in emergencies. These jobs include search and rescue, first aid, and incident command. Additionally, the plan provides for the location of your house emergency kits, or E-kit, which will be used for a large-scale disaster. Each E-kit contains medical and first aid supplies, search and rescue equipment, and a host of other useful items. The contents will be distributed as needed during an emergency.
The emergency plan also provides information on evacuation and a muster area for everyone to meet after or during a disaster. This site should be clear of your building to keep you safe and well out of the way of first responders. Be sure to ask your house manager about your emergency plan, the location of your e-kit, and the location of your muster area. In the event of an earthquake, you should drop to the ground as soon as you feel a shaking. Then you try to cover your neck, head, or back as best you can and get under a hard, solid piece of furniture. Make sure this piece of furniture is away from mirrors or glass. At this point, you start holding on to the solid piece of furniture. And when the shaking stops, you can come out. If you have a helmet or something hard to put on your head, you do so at this point in time. You also now get out and evacuate your building and go to the muster station you and your housemates have assigned. During the semester, each house is required to have a number of members trained in Community Emergency Response Team, which is hosted by the fire department. The BSC also has free classes in first aid and CPR. Information about these classes will be sent to your house manager at the beginning of the semester, and I encourage all of you to get involved and be familiar with your emergency plan. There are a number of things that you can do to help prepare for an emergency. First, start by practicing safe habits. Give your house manager your emergency contact info and relevant medical information, such as medication and allergies. Know where your fire extinguishers are and how to use the fire suppression system in your kitchen. Never cover up or disable your smoke detector, and be sure to replace the batteries at least once a year. Don't hang things on fire sprinklers, and never leave cooking food, open flames, or any other ignition source unattended, as it could catch fire. While candles and incense are technically allowed, you're better off not using them, as you will be held fully accountable for any damages caused by an accidental or purposeful fire. Don't smoke when you're sleepy or drunk. Accidental cigarette fires are the leading cause of fatal fires in the U.S., accounting for more than 1/4 of fire fatalities. And with the plastic and chemical combustibles in the furniture and carpets today, a fire can go from a smoldering cigarette to a 2,000-degree inferno within just 3 minutes. Always keep your hallways and exits clear for a quick exit, and remember that if the fire alarm goes off, you must evacuate. That's the law. Please remember, don't ever pull a fire alarm if there is no emergency. You'll be wasting valuable time and resources bringing the fire department to a building that has no emergency. Additionally, you may be taking valuable minutes away from their response to a real emergency. And remember, always stay safe.